There is a pain many people carry in silence. Not the pain of never being loved. It is the pain of loving someone deeply and later realizing that person was never right for you. A woman spends years praying for a man she thought was her future, only to discover he was the source of her greatest heartbreak. A man sacrifices everything for a relationship, only to watch it collapse despite all his efforts. Someone looks back after 10 years and asks a painful question: what exactly did I see in this person? What makes this question so difficult is that the feeling was very real. The love felt real. The dreams felt real. The hope was very real. Yet, somehow, the person was wrong. Why does this happen? Why do intelligent people fall in love with people who hurt them? Why do kind people choose partners who do not appreciate them? Why do some people ignore obvious warning signs that everyone else can see? The answer is deeper than most people think. It is because people do not always fall in love with a person. Sometimes they fall in love with a need. A person sees a beautiful house, but what they truly want is safety. A person chases money, but what they truly want is freedom. A person falls in love, but sometimes what they truly want is healing. And this is where many mistakes begin. A lonely person often mistakes attention for love. A wounded person often mistakes rescue for love. An insecure person often mistakes validation for love. The relationship begins, the feelings are strong. Everything feels very magical, but the feelings are not coming from who the other person is. The feeling is coming from what the other person is providing emotionally. What if the real person is not what most people think? What if many relationships begin because people are trying to solve an emotional problem they did not understand? Think about it. A young woman grows up feeling ignored by her father. Then she meets a man who gives her consistent attention. She feels loved, she feels special, she feels chosen. But is she in love with the man? Or is she in love with the feeling of finally being seen? A young man grows up believing he's never good enough. Then he meets a woman who constantly praises him. He feels powerful. He feels important. He feels valuable. But is he in love with her? Or is he addicted to how she makes him feel about himself? Many people never ask themselves these questions. And because they never ask themselves this question, they confuse emotional hunger with love. The hungrier a person is emotionally, the easier it becomes to mistake food for friendship. The easier it becomes to mistake comfort for compatibility. The easier it becomes to mistake excitement for character. This is one reason why people fall in love with the wrong person. They are not seen clearly. They are seen through the lens of a need. And needs can be powerful. Have you ever noticed how many people sometimes ignore obvious warning signs when they are deeply attracted to someone? Friends can see the danger. Parents can see the danger. Even neighbors can see the danger. But the person inside the relationship cannot see it. Why is that so? Because emotions can become louder than reality. When people desperately want something to be true, they begin collecting evidence that supports their hope. They notice every good thing. They excuse every bad thing. They explain away every warning sign. The woman mind is very creative when protecting a dream. For example, a man could be in love with a woman and she lies. Then the man will say she only lied because she was afraid. Or a woman will say he only insulted me because he was stressed. Again and again, the excuse continues. Not because the warning signs are invisible, but because accepting the truth will destroy the dream. And many people fear losing the dream more than they fear facing reality. This pattern appears everywhere, in villages, cities, churches, universities, workplace. People sometimes choose hope over truth, not because they are foolish, because they are human. Another surprising truth is that many people are attracted to what feels familiar, not necessarily what is healthy. A child grows up in a home filled with shouting. Years later, peaceful relationship feels strange. Conflict feels normal. A child grows up around emotional distance. Years later, unavailability partners feels attractive. Warm and consistent people feels boring. What does this say about a person? It says that people often mistake familiarity for destiny. They think this feels right, but sometimes it only feels familiar. And familiar things can pull us towards old pain, not because we enjoy suffering, but because human beings are creatures of habits. This explains why some people repeat the same relationship over and over with different faces, different names, different city, different circumstances, yet the same ending, the same heartbreak, the same disappointment, the same tears. The people change, the pattern remains. This is what you need to learn from this pattern. Changing your life requires more than changing the people around you. Sometimes you must understand the hidden forces inside you. Otherwise, yesterday continues to choose tomorrow for you. Another reason people fall in love with the wrong people or the wrong person is because they fall in love with potential. This happens everywhere. A woman sees who a man could become. A man sees who a woman could become. They build an entire future around possibilities. The problem is simple. Potential is not reality. Potentials cannot raise children. Potential cannot build trust. Potential cannot keep promises. Character does those things. Many people marry a future version of someone that does not exist. Then years later, they become angry because reality never became their fantasy. The truth discovered too late is that love should not be built on who someone might become. It should be built on who they consistently are, not on promises, not on dreams, not on imagination, but on patterns. Character reveals itself through pattern. Anyone can be kind for a week. Anyone can be generous for a month. Anyone can pretend for a season, but pattern eventually tells the truth. Watch how a person treats people who cannot help them. Watch how they behave when angry. Watch how they handle disappointment. Watch how they speak about others when those people are absent. These small moments often reveals more than romantic word would ever reveal. Another hidden reason people choose the wrong partner is fear. Fear is a powerful force. Some people stay because they fear being alone. Others stay because they fear starting over. Some fear disappointing family. Some fear public embarrassment. Some fear that nobody else will love them. And fear has a strange effect. It makes bad situation look safer than uncertainty. A person remains in an unhealthy relationship. They are afraid of what comes after leaving. Yet, life teaches a painful lesson. The fear of loneliness has trapped many people in relationships that made them feel lonely every day. Think about that. Being alone and feeling alone are not the same thing. I'll take that again. Being alone and feeling alone are not the same thing. A crowded relationship can be lonelier than an empty room. The deepest connection is not finding someone who fills a space. It is finding someone whose character brings peace into your life. Perhaps the biggest lesson of all of this is the wrong person is not always a bad person. Sometimes two good people simply meet at the wrong stage of life. Sometimes one person is ready while the other is not. Sometimes their values are different. Sometimes their goals are moving in opposite direction. Not every relationship is the result of evil. Sometimes it is simply compatibility. Understanding this can remove such bitterness. Not every ending requires a villain. Sometimes it only requires honesty, and honesty is often kinder than forcing something that was never meant to work. As you grow older, you begin to notice something important. Yes, the relationship that survive are rarely the most dramatic, rarely the most exciting, rarely the most chaotic. They are usually built on things people overlook when they are young. Something like trust, consistency, respect, patience, emotional maturity, shared values. These things are not always flashy, but they are strong. And strong things often look ordinary at first. So before asking whether someone loves you, perhaps ask a deeper question. What kind of person are they when life becomes difficult? Because eventually life becomes difficult for everyone. Someday, sometime. Beauty changes, money rises and falls. Excitement comes and goes, but character stays. And character is what carries love when feelings becomes tired. In the end, many people do not fall in love with the wrong person because they are foolish. They fall in love with the wrong person because they are human. They are searching for connection, for healing, for acceptance, for belonging. The mistake is not wanting these things. The mistake is expecting another person to provide what only self-understanding can reveal. The more clearer you understand yourself, the more clearer you see others. The more clearer you see others, the less likely you are to mistake a beautiful feeling for a beautiful future. Because one of the most important truths about love is that the right person is not always the one who makes your heart race the fastest. I'll take that again. The right person is not always the one who makes your heart race the fastest. Often, the right person is the one whose character allows your heart to rest. Know this and know peace. Subscribe to the channel, like and comment in the comment section. See you next time.